The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority's Rockport branch spans from Boston's North Station through beaches, marsh, woodland, swamp, and quarry, and finally ends up in Rockport. But the line is cursed with one flaw: the need for drawbridges. And what happens when these drawbridges just don't work? Well, you will see the chaos that they can cause. On April 30th, 2020, service was halted from Gloucester to Rockport due to the failure of the 109-year-old Gloucester drawbridge, which traversed the Annisquam River. Emergency shuttle buses were deployed, and it was unknown how long the line would be closed. Since then, the track on this portion of the line has rusted, and rusted. The ties have rotted, and the people of Cape Ann began getting used to a life without trains. But as the years went by, the MBTA made significant progress on the bridge, and finally, on May 9th, 2022, a train crossed over the bridge for the first time in 2 years. The line opened for good on May 23rd, 2022, and now here we are, May 27th, 2022. I am at Rockport Station, set up and ready to see my first train here in 2 whole years. A train set is already parked in the layover yard, but MBTA 1103 was to be the first moving train that I would see. I then chased the inbound to a favorite spot known as Nugent Stretch. Nugent Stretch happens to be the spot where I saw my first ever train. Pretty cool. Two hours later, the next Rockport outbound is swiftly approaching. But how come the train has the exact same locomotive as before? Well, from Beverly to Boston, the MBTA is doing PTC work, so bus shuttles are replacing that service. Meanwhile, on weekends, the same train set runs back and forth until the weekday approaches. Luckily for me, the set stuck between Beverly and Rockport had one of the MBTA's F40PH2C locomotives running. There are only 4 left. I'm now headed down to CP Loop, where the old loop track once branched off the main line. Before the invention of the cab car, trains in Rockport used to loop around Loop Pond in order to have the locomotive face towards the direction they had to go. Heading back over to the CP Loop signals, there is a public footpath with a great view of the rails. Here is an inbound entering the main line territory at CP Loop. Notice the sign that says End of Mainline Track. Essentially, starting at CP Loop, the Rockport Yard territory begins and the mainline status ends. Here is an outbound exiting the mainline territory. We see the corresponding inbound train head back to Boston, at the location where the loop track once branched off the main line. As you may know, this section of track holds two stations, Rockport and Gloucester. The city of Gloucester is a busy one, and the station is very important for people who must commute from the North Shore to Boston. The sounds of a non-rebuilt F40PH2C cannot be beat. Let's go take a closer look at Rockport Station. Now, if you think I filmed the Reedville switcher a lot, just wait until you see trains in Rockport. I will be doing a full video series about the forgotten and important history surrounding Rockport Station, so stay tuned. The first thing that may catch your eye is the old Boston and Maine Freight House. This building is a strong standing relic in Rockport, and once was the heart of a hustle-bustle freight hub. Here comes inbound 2106 cruising out of the station, bypassing the freight house. Though it is unknown to me when the freight house opened, Rockport Station began service in November of 1861. The freight house is only one example of the deep-rooted history that lies beneath this station. On the weekends, the MBTA parks 3 train sets at the station. There is one of them on the left. Here is an outbound arriving during the midday hours.
Oh, look. Oh my gosh, look what it is.
Rockport's morning lighting is pristine for outbounds, but as a result, the lighting gets worse and worse throughout the day. Here is an early morning outbound arriving at Rockport. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a little bit more about Rockport Station and much of the history that surrounds it. As I said, I will be in Rockport a lot this year, so expect a good amount of videos coming your way. See ya!